Did you ever hear this sound when you fly on Airbus A320 or you pass by on the apron and you hear this sound? We call it barking dog, and today I would like to show you what is it, how it works and how to replace it. So let's take a look at it. The device which produces this sound is called Power Transfer Unit, or shortly PTU, and we can find it here in the wheel well on the aft wall up there. That's it, that's our PTU. So now we know where it is located, but what is this device good for? Well, first of all, we need to know that all three hydraulic systems which are located on Airbus A320 are completely independent, which means that you cannot transfer hydraulic fluid from one to another. And this one interconnect yellow and green system, but mechanically only. What does it mean? This device is made out of two displacement units. The left part is connected to the green system, right part is connected to yellow system, and thanks to this device we can transfer the force or power from one to another. If one of the EDP pumps which are on the engine fail. EDP is engine driven pump for hydraulic system, if you don't know yet. But back to displacement units. Left one, or the one for green system, is fixed, and the right one for yellow is adjustable. Inside of this section you can find adjustable cam, and that one is controlled by this servo motor which you can see on the front face of the PTU. There is no electrical connection to this PTU, is completely without electrical control, but the PTU itself is controlled by two solenoids. This one over here is for yellow system, and this one above me is for a green system. Once we have a loss of the pressure, the solenoids will open the three-way valve and it will let power, or it will let pressure enters into the PTU to the side which still have power, and it will start producing power on the other side, or it will start transferring power to the system which lost hydraulic pressure. And like this we can keep airplane systems or airplane surfaces running even if we lose EDP. And if you don't know what displacement unit means, it is basically a piston pump. So we have two piston pumps. One is fixed, as I said. The other one has a adjustable cam which control the pistons. So whenever there is higher demand, it will change the angle, and this piston pump provides higher flow rate. When we have a lower demand, it will reduce the angle and the flow rate will reduce from that point. PTU is also used on the ground because we have two electric pumps. One is for the blue system and the other one is for yellow. Yellow electric pump is used especially during ground ops, and the blue electric pump is supplying blue hydraulic system during whole flight. Most of the systems which are needed during ground operation, like cargo doors, are powered from the yellow hydraulic system. But if we need to perform any kind of test for maintenance reasons and we need a green system to power that system, we need to use PTU. So we'll activate yellow hydraulic system from the cockpit, and it will automatically activate the PTU, because PTU is always armed, and whenever there is pressure on yellow side and we have demand on the green, it will activate. If we have demand on the other way, so if we use a green engine driven pump, an airplane is in certain configuration, the PTU will start to supply yellow system. So it always activate whenever we switch on hydraulic system, one or the other. Crew have of course a possibility to deactivate the PTU by push button, but whenever it is on or in auto mode, it is armed. Okay, hopefully now we have an idea how the PTU works, and we can start with a replacement of the PTU. My colleagues start with removal of the drain port, and I'm disconnecting quick disconnect coupling, which connects PTU to a yellow PTU manifold on which we can find the solenoid which I mentioned before. And both of us continue on each side. I'm on the yellow section of the PTU, my colleague is on the green system side, and we will slowly remove all three connections which you can find on both sides, and that's high pressure, low pressure, and case drain line. The biggest one which you can find on both sides is a low pressure line. That one brings the fluid from the reservoirs to the PTU. The middle sized line, which was removed by my colleague on the other side, and at this moment by me on my side as well, is actually the pressure or high pressure line, and that one either delivers the pressure to PTU and leads on the other end pressure to the other system. And this, as I said before, is based on the requirements or pressure loss of the airplane systems. And the last hose which we need to remove on both sides, actually the smallest one, belongs to case drain line, and it serves to several critical purposes related to lubrication, cooling, and pressure control inside of the pump housing. And how it works: actually, the components inside of the PTU has a small clearance which allows small leaks, and this fluid is then used to lubricate and of course cool down the internal components, because inside of the PTU we can find 4 different bearings, and of course the piston pump need to be also cooled, and this fluid, once it's heated and it serves its purpose, it's lead back to reservoir through this small line. Okay, meanwhile we get to the point when we cut the wire from the 4 bolts which hold the PTU on the place, and we are starting to removing it from the shock mounts. And don't forget that this shock mount don't like when you turn them, so it's better to hold them with the wrench and then you lose the bolts. And once you leave the PTU, it's important to say that it sits on the shock mount on 4 spacers, and it's good to collect them immediately when you remove the PTU from the shock mounts. And since we have PT out, let's take a closer look on it. As you can see, arrangement of the connection of the lines is a bit different on the yellow and on the green side. The reason is the function, because in front of us you can see servo motor assembly which control variable displacement unit, and that's why case drain connection is directly above this section. And on the green side you can see that the connections are very compact, and the reason for this is that the displacement unit on the green side has a fixed angle and the case drain is placed again directly above the piston pump. So that's the reason. And by the way, PTU you can find also on other airplanes like Embraer 195, where it has a different function, but about it some other day. And of course you can find it on Boeing 737, about which I already made a video. So click in top right corner, or later you can find in the description below. And now back to our replacement. Once the PTU is out, we will inspect the area, measure the shock mounts, because if they're wear too much, we need to replace them. In our case, everything was fine. Once this is done, we can install the new PTU on the place, and once it's there, we will install spacer one by one and secure them with a screw so they're not gonna get lost. So, and it's got this rubber foot. It stands on this. So I need to put them one by one. Uno. Where's this one really? You're gonna have a. So if it says like. Once the PTU stands on the spacers and the bolts are on the place, we can torque them, of course, with the required volume. Yeah, we as well. Yes. And now we need to secure them with the lock wire, and the front ones are easy, but the two on the back, it takes some time, so that will be a bit harder. Masz? Ne? Dobra. After that, we can start with installation of the hoses, and they need to be installed in a certain pattern, because if you don't follow this, you will have a hard time to torque the hoses, especially the big one, the low pressure hose on the green side. Thank you. No, but I think good. And this is the last connection which we need to torque, and this is actually drain leak port. If there is any internal leak, it will be drained in the echo tank, and that way we'll find out that there is leak from the PTU. And as the next, I need to install quick disconnect coupling, which is installed on the hose, which connects PTU to yellow manifold. And as a last, I need to install bonding lead, which ground the PTU to the structure. And since everything is done, we need to connect hydraulic card to green system, because with this tool we're gonna bleed hydraulic systems, and as well later on we're gonna test them. After this, we need to service the hydraulic systems, because we lost hydraulic fluid, and we need to also pressurize hydraulic reservoirs, because we bleed them before replacement. Okay, so all connected. Okay. And 3000 psi. So green side is on. Now we switch on the yellow, and we need to bleed the PTU this way. Good. Okay, now PTU need to get on, but it should not run. Yes, that was it. My colleague switched on the PTU button, but it doesn't run, which is good. It should be like this. Now we need to let it run for 15 minutes like this, and then we proceed with the test. Okay, 15 minutes pass. As you can see, not a single drop, which is great. And now we can switch off everything basically. So I'll go up, and then we perform the test. Okay, so power pressure is there. Now we switch off the PTU. We switch off the electric pump. The green is still on. And now we need to switch off also the hydraulic cart. Okay, this is off, and back to cockpit, switch on the PTU. PTU on, and back down. And now we will go slowly up until the PTU starts to operate. Let it stable for 5 minutes. So as you can see, we are powering up the green system with the hydraulic cart. And thanks to PTU, the power is transferred to yellow system. So this is how it is. 5 minutes. No leaks. Everything. Okay. So PTU off. Now we'll switch off the ground cart. Okay. Ground card off, and we'll do it the other way around. Electric pump on, and PTU on. And again, I need to wait 5 minutes. Okay, off. And the last one, we'll see if the PTU will transfer the pressure when we lose the power. Let's switch on the yellow. Dobre. Okay.
I mean,
so
it says
now
minus 100, so it's very good.
Electric off, and after 500 drop, the PTU should kick. It kicked
Immediately. It's fucking
nice.
new, yeah?
Doing great.
Wow.
Yeah. So
With you. With
and this is on. Okay.
That was not this side.
And I'll do the same thing on the hydraulic cart, and it should kick the other way around. Okay.
Yeah.
Now we switch off the hydraulic pump. Yes, it works. Perfecto. Amazing. We can switch off everything. Perfect. Finally, right. We can disconnect everything. Which means that we need to disconnect hydraulic cart from the airplane, remove all the platforms, clean everything, And more or less all what's remaining is paperwork. This last thing. Close up. Okay, that's all about power transfer unit or PTU. As always guys, I would like to ask you to don't use this as a replacement for your maintenance manual, but always use latest documentation released by manufacturer. Big thanks to Austrian Airlines that they let me record all these videos for you. Big thanks to each and everybody who watching, and especially to members. That's all from my side. My name is Tomáš, this was Aircraft Maintenance with Zeto, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.